The Abilene Cooper Cougars have traveled all the way to the west to meet the Permian Panthers. Tonight's pregame show is brought to you by the very fine folks at the Texas Institute of Sports Medicine. Good evening, I'm Don Scott. Down on the field is Kurt Kaiser. Kurt, I understand you've got the starting lineups.
All right, thank you very much, Don. This is the return to Ratliff Stadium for the Cougars from Abilene Cooper. Just a few short weeks ago, they were here to play the Broncos of Odessa High. They lost that ball game 35-31, a game they came very, very close to winning. The Broncos pulled that one out. They return to Ratliff Stadium tonight to play the Permian Panthers, and they are big underdogs, but it should be an entertaining ball game at least. Let's check the starting lineups. First of all, the defensive unit for Permian, which will go up against that very big offensive line for the Cooper Cougars. Defensively for the Panthers, they'll be led by Steve Womack. Steve, one of the co-captains, 6 foot, 200-pound senior. Chad Williams, a defensive tackle. Chad is 6'4", 239-pound senior. Chris McMillan, last week Defensive Player of the Week, 6 foot, 192-pound junior at the other defensive tackle spot. And it is Todd Allen at defensive end. Todd, 5'9", 179-pound senior. Zane Watson will lead the linebacking core at 5'9", 176 pounds. He is a senior. Greg Kwiatkowski in there at the middle linebacker position. Greg, 5'11", 181-pound senior. Rounding out the linebackers, Robbie Manelli, 5'9", 169-pound senior. The cornerbacks, Kevin Mannix, 5'11", 166-pound senior. The other cornerback is Johnny Seeley. Had an interception in the game against Jesuit on Saturday. Johnny is 5'10", 164 pounds, and he is a senior. Trent Hendrick, one of the safeties. Trent, 5'8", 150-pound senior. And Lloyd Hill, leading pass receiver in District 4-5A on defense, plays at safety. Lloyd, 6'1", 178-pound senior. Now, all week long, we've been talking about the size of Abilene Cooper. They definitely do have it. Let's start off with their quarterback, first of all, before we get to that big offensive line. Lanny Owens, a double-threat quarterback, running and passing, 5'9", 165-pound senior, a real leader for this Abilene Cooper team. Brian Roper at halfback. Brian, 5'11", 155-pound junior. C.J. Wilson, the leading ball carrier for the Cougars, 5'11", 175-pound senior. He is starting at fullback tonight. Raymond Hunter is the halfback. 6'3", 170-pound senior. As you can see, they run out of the wishbone. David Cedillo is a split end, 5'8", 155-pound senior. The tight end is John Lewis. He had some big catches in that ball game against the Broncos a few weeks ago. A definite threat at the tight end position, 5'11", 215-pound junior. One of the tackles is Kevin Erie. Here's one of the biggies, 6'3", 215-pound junior. We get bigger with Joey Matthews, 6'1", 265-pound junior. Notice both of those were juniors, Joey at the guard position. The center is Hal Livingston, 6'2", 210 pounds. The other guard is Lloyd Ivester. He is the big man in there at 6'3", 295 pounds. Not only big in size, but big in ability. A very good one for the Cougars. Troy Evans, 6'3", 265-pound senior. He is at the tackle. And then Jason Hart, the place kicker, 5'9", 150-pound senior. Jason Hart, a very good field goal kicker for the Cougars from Abilene. Abilene High, or not Abilene High, but from Abilene Cooper, that is. That's our starting lineups, checking the offense and the defense for the Cooper Cougars, and also the defense for the Permian Panthers. Let's send it back upstairs now to Don Scott.
Okay, thank you, Kurt. It's a very cool evening, I might add, as well as being a rather damp one out here at Ratliff Stadium. The Abilene Cooper Cougars are kind of an enigma this year. No one's sure which ball club is going to show up. Could be the ball club that played so well against Odessa High in a 35-31 loss, or it could be the ball club that showed up against a very weak San Angelo team and lost to them 7-3. Coach Larry Peel feels like his ball club has improved drastically over the past 2 or 3 weeks, and they really are, more than mathematically, they actually have a reasonable chance to making the playoffs. There is a big hurdle in the way, however. It's known as the Odessa Permian Panthers. But a Cooper win tonight would jeopardize the Panthers' chances of getting into the playoffs, as they would have to then be sure that they won their last 2 ball games of the season, or they could be in trouble. Should be an interesting ball game. Odessa Permian is a big favorite, and we will have to say that they should win the ball game. But who knows? It is high school football, and the ball bounces in crazy ways. Well, that about wraps us up on the pregame show. It's been brought to you by the Texas Institute of Sports Medicine. Stay tuned for...
Offers Ultracom AT, a product of Thai Communications, perfect for small to mid-sized companies. Discover the high performance of Ultracom AT and other unique phone systems at Modesto. Home-owned and operated, so your investment stays here in your community. With service 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call Modesto today for a free cost estimate. Modessa Telephone Systems, your local telephone company, 563-0266.
4-5A in 1989. The state's second-ranked Class 5A team is 3-0 in district play with convincing wins over Odessa, Midland, and Abilene. Next up for the Panthers is the Cooper Cougars, a team that runs out of the dangerous run-and-shoot offense. Permian has a defense that is bent but not broken too much. At times, the run-and-shoot has a tendency to make defenses break. A couple of cats will be clawing away at each other, Permian and Cooper, next on Channel 7 High School Football.
Back at Ratliff Stadium for the kickoff in tonight's exciting high school football matchup, and tonight's game between the Cougars from Abilene Cooper and the Panthers from Permian, brought to you by Odessa Women's and Children's Hospital, Harold's Electronics, Car Well Service, and Modessa Telephone. The captains have met at the center of the field, and the Permian captains, as they have been all year long, Lloyd Hill, Steve Womack, and Jeff Garrett, and the Cougars represented by a host of Cougars.
7 captains. We're not going to name them all, but the Cougars did win the toss. They will receive, and they will be at the north end of the stadium defending the North Go. So Permian will start out with the wind behind their back. And tonight, Kurt, the wind is a sizable factor. We have a stiff breeze blowing from the south to the north. The right hand of your television screen to the left-hand side.
Permian enters this game a perfect record of 7-0, 3-0 in district play. The Cougars are 4-3, 2-2 in District 4-5A. However, mathematically, there's a very good shot if Cooper would win this ball game tonight.
That's right.
They could still sneak into the playoff picture.
If Cooper were to win this ball game tonight, Odessa Permian would have to beat Midland Lee next week and San Angelo the next week for them to get in, providing Cooper won the rest of their ball games. But both of these ball clubs have yet to face the Midland Lee Rebels.
And again, the problem for Coach Gary Gaines all week long, and perhaps for the last 2 weeks, has been to make sure that his team does not look ahead to that matchup next week with Midland Lee. The fans are looking ahead, sportscasters, broadcasters, everyone is looking ahead to the game with Midland Lee, but Gary Gaines is very concerned his players don't look ahead and don't overlook an Abilene Cooper team that can be very explosive. Don, we saw that a few weeks ago when they played Odessa High.
We certainly did. They have a very, very fine football team. As I said in the pregame show, it depends on what team shows up tonight. If it's the team that played against Odessa High, then the Permian Panthers could have their hands full tonight. However, if it's the team from Abilene Cooper that shows up that lost to San Angelo, then it ought to be a walkover. So, but actually, Coach Peel says that the Cooper Cougars have improved vastly since that loss to San Angelo, and they actually did not have 3 or 4 of their main starters in that ball game. So they are a very good football team, and it would be a very bad mistake to look past them.
Yeah, that game against San Angelo for Cooper still has to be one of the great mysteries of District 4-5A in 1989. How they would lose that ball game 7-3. They did have a touchdown called back on a controversial call. In fact, back-to-back controversial calls for the Cougars put them in a pretty bad mood after losing a game to San Angelo, then coming here to Ratliff Stadium, losing to Odessa High on a questionable call, at least from the Cougars' standpoint, in that ball game. Of course, the Broncos felt it was correct, and we saw it as a Bronco football on that particular night. But now it's the Panthers and the Cougars, and we're all set for high school football action, game number 8 of the 1989 season. And that game is underway. The kick by Malcolm Hamilton, taken now by the Cougars, and back they come with it, right up the middle.
Out to about the 25-yard line. A good return there. He almost broke out of the pack and made some real big yardage.
Johnny Seeley in on the tackle that time for the Permian Panthers.
Watch it once again here as he comes back up the middle of the field. He runs it north and south, right straight up the middle behind his wedge, makes a good cut there, breaks through one tackle and hurdles another. He had about one more man to beat after that, and he could have made some big yardage.
The Cougars will open up on offense with Lanny Owens at quarterback, and there's movement along the right side of the line.
Yeah, a lot of movement. The snap counts were not even close that time.
We'll check the snap count. We've had a major catastrophe up here in the booth. My spotting board has just blown off onto the roof here.
Yes, if we could have a shot from down on the field.
There we go.
There we go.
Boy,
we got it back.
Great
Yes,
job.
sir.
Our spotter, Ronnie Stapleton, showed that he can do more than spot the football. He can grab errant cards.
Yes, and only Aggies would crawl out there on the roof to do that.
Thank you, Ronnie. You fell for that trick. Okay. 1st and 15 after the penalty. Cougars keep it on the ground, and the Panthers right there to stop it up.
Well, this is what Abilene Cooper did against Odessa High, and did, I have to say, rather well, as they ran behind those huge offensive linemen and just wedged out yardage. That time, the Permian Panthers plugged up the middle fairly well, stopped them for about a 3-yard gain.
So it'll be 2nd and 12. The ball out to the 23-yard line with 11 and a half minutes to go in the first quarter. Receivers to the left side, David Cedillo and Raymond Hunter. Lanny Owens on the ground.
Good job. Who made the first penetration there? I'm not sure. It was Todd Allen on the first penetration, and he does a great job of messing up this play before it really gets going good. Watch him as he just knocks him off balance, and then
Bobby Manelli
comes to put the quietus on him. Got to get that in early tonight.
That's right. Owens is 6th in the district in rushing, the quarterback, with 544 yards. And passing-wise, he's had a pretty good year there as well. 41 of 82 for 591 yards, which puts him 2nd in the district behind Stony Case of Permian. 3rd and 13. Owens looks to throw, pressured. Gets away from the pressure, but doesn't get away from a big hit by the Panthers, Steve Womack. And Chad Williams was the one that caused that early pressure.
And I believe it was Zane Watson who came in there and mopped up on this thing. Let's take a watch here. As Womack's got the original pressure on him, and he breaks loose coming back upfield.
There's Womack.
Oh, there it is. Yes, it is.
There was Todd Allen flashing across as well.
Todd Allen who came in there at the end to finish him off. Brings up a punt. They've got it off and in the air.
And the kick by Lewis is taken by Lloyd Hill at the 48. Lloyd Hill with running room, and Hill's going to take it in.
He's gone.
That's a mojo touchdown.
Not a flag anywhere, and the offense is yet to be on the field. It is 7-0, or 6-0, pardon me.
Lloyd Hill with a 52-yard punt return. He takes it at the 48-yard line. Goes through that initial hole, cuts back, and he's in for 6.
Gone. Okay, now the defense gets to come back out.
Try for the point after by Clint Stewart. The snap is back, and the extra point
is good.
It's through the uprights.
Okay.
10 minutes and 3 seconds left to go in the first quarter, and the Panthers break on top early. It's Permian 7, and the Cooper Cougars nothing on the exciting touchdown from Lloyd Hill.
Boy, I tell you what, that was quick. Kurt, I about as quick as I've seen one.
That's right. We haven't seen the Panthers play on the road, but at home, that would be the first punt or kickoff return for a touchdown all year long, I believe.
I think so.
Yeah. It shows how well we think. I think so.
Don't ask me questions like that.
The defense really setting the tempo there, Don, as they just kept Cooper really in that hole, and I think they got the momentum for that punt return right there.
Well, it was one of those punt returns where he started one way and then switched the other way. The Permian Panther tonight is in his Halloween best. Those look like the shorts you wear, Kurt.
Yeah, they're pretty similar there. And that Permian Panther does a great job. Tony Karimi. Tony is the Panther. I was out at the Panther pep rally today, and he really does a super job at getting that crowd revved up. Tony the Panther. Usually Tony the Tiger, but in this case it's Tony the Panther. There's the kick. As the Cougars will get it back with the ball at the 5, now back up to the 20-yard line. They'll start pretty close to where they started the first time. Good coverage again, Ben Holmes. No, that's not right. Let's come on over here, and we'll tell you that Adrian Villa made the defensive play that time for Permian on the kick coverage.
I tell you what, you and Stapleton better get your acts together tonight. You've dropped the spotter sheet over on the roof. You've dropped your clipboard on the floor.
Yeah, we don't need a camera up here in the press box tonight. Yeah, that's right. It's cold. Thank you, Ronnie. It's cold tonight, and our fingers aren't working properly.
Okay.
Our brains are frozen. 1st and 10 from the 24. That doesn't apply to the Panthers, though, as they lead early. Lanny Owens fumbles the football. Permian recovers. Steve Womack falls on the football, and the Panthers get it back inside the 40-yard line.
And Steve Womack is one fired-up individual tonight. He came off the field bouncing like a rubber ball, and he's still bouncing down the sideline. Watch this, as he almost catches it in the air. He does catch it in the air. Not almost, he took the pitch.
1st and 10, 9:51 to go in the first quarter of play. Permian has it at the 31-yard line. Panthers lined up to the left side. As Stoney Case sets them down, gives the ball back to Chris Comer. Comer with running room inside the 30-yard line. Comer on his feet inside the 20. Comer back in for his first action in 3 weeks. Sets up a 1st and goal for the Panthers.
I tell you what, if there was any doubts about Chris Comer being ready to play tonight, I think he removed them right there. Great run here. He dodges back inside, misses steps out of a tackle, busts off of a man there, and then when he gets hit down here, he barrels for another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 yards after he's hit. Great job of running by Chris Comer.
See if the Cougars key on Chris Comer. The Panthers can catch him off guard here with a draw play or something to Arve Villa. But it goes back to Chris Comer. Comer inside the 10, inside the 5, and into the end zone. That's the Mojo touchdown. Chris Comer takes it in.
I believe Mr. Comer is back with what you would call a vengeance. He missed the action, and he's going to make up for it. Great job right there. He misses one tackle, spins out of another, and runs over a man at the goal line to get into the end zone. Chris Comer, for the Permian fans, it's great news. He is back.
A quick drive, 2 plays, 2 Chris Comer runs, 31 yards, 26 seconds, and very early in this ball game, the Panthers lead it. The extra point is good by Clint Stewart, and with 9 minutes and 25 seconds to go in the first quarter, the Panthers are up 14-0.
Ooh.
Ever wonder why you see so many exciting...
Hey, we're back at Ratliff Stadium where the Permian Panthers are teeing the ball up for time number 3 already.
Wow.
And there's still 9 minutes, 25 seconds left to go in the first quarter of play. And I tell you what, the mettle of the Abilene Cooper Cougars is going to be tested in this one because they're down 14-0 and haven't really got started yet.
Well, from a Permian standpoint, the question has been answered early. Was Permian looking ahead to Lee? I don't think so. They're ready for this ball game tonight. At least they have been to date, and to date is only 2.5 minutes. Cougars get the kickoff and come down the field with it at the 20-yard line. A little running room down the seam right now for C.J. Wilson. He is knocked out of bounds. Kevin Mannix takes him out for Permian.
Out of bounds on about the 30-yard line. A little bit better field position than they had the first time around, or the first 2 times around. But really not real great field position at that. Looked like he was going to get a lot more yardage when he cuts to the outside here. Missed tackle there. Look, he had a little more running room, but some quick speed that time by Kevin Mannix got over and dropped him out of bounds.
So the Cougars unable to get anything going on offense so far. They have had 2 series. They fumbled the last time on the first play from scrimmage. Steve Womack, the recovery, which set up the second touchdown for the Panthers. 9:18 to go in the first quarter. 1st and 10 from the 30 as Lanny Owens hands it off, and a very, very tough yard. Steve Womack was right there for the Panthers to stop the ball carrier, who was Ken Lacey.
I think Steve Womack is already making a bid for the defensive player of the game tonight. He's been, I think, on every tackle, and he's already recovered a fumble.
Yeah.
What kind of night can you ask for?
That's not too bad. 2nd and 9 from the 31. Raymond Hunter goes out wide right. David Cedillo goes out to the left. Man in motion is John Lewis. 1 man in the backfield behind Lanny Owens. Owens looks to throw. Quick pop to the left side is completed to Ken Lacey, but right there with him was Lloyd Hill to bring him down immediately.
Now that's the way you have to cover that play. It is almost impossible to stop the completion, but you stop it for a 2-3 yard gain, and that's about as good a job of defense as you can do on it.
Trent Hendrick coming in to assist as Lloyd Hill made the first hit, and it's a short pickup of 3 yards. So it'll be 3rd and 6 with the ball to the 34-yard line. 8-10 and counting left in the first quarter. Permian up early, 14-0. Lanny Owens has the wishbone behind him now, man on the left side. Owens keeps the football and is brought down behind the line. That was Todd Allen with a great defensive play.
Todd Allen, absolutely. This is what you call cutting them down. It's wood chopper time, folks, and here comes the axe. Whoa!
What a great play.
Whoa.
Fourth down.
I guarantee you Mr. Owens will be in the whirlpool an extra 30 minutes for that one tomorrow.
A loss on the play of 4 yards, so it is 4th and 10. And it's Lewis that drops back into punt formation, gets the kick away, and it is taken at the 36-yard line by Arve Villa. Villa's back to the 40, behind a block from Lloyd Hill. He's at midfield. He goes down at around the 49-yard line.
Arve Villa had trouble getting a handle on that ball on the early part of the punt. If he had been able to go quickly, he had a wall set up to this side. But watch, he's got the ball cleared out between his knees and finally gets it up and into his arm. But by that time, the Abilene Cooper defense had spread out to this side. And that's a great block that time by Lloyd Hill. He did a tremendous job of blocking.
Paul Smith was the one that time for the Cougars, finally bringing Arve down. 1st and 10. The ball is at the 49-yard line. 7:17 to go in the first quarter of play. Stoney Case on the draw to Arve Villa. There was that draw play I was talking about earlier. And it picks up a yard. Troy Evans on the stop that time for the Cougars.
I tell you what, Abilene Cooper wants to play pass defense the way they played at that time on the flanker and Lloyd Hill, on Villa and Lloyd Hill out to the wide to the right in that double set. If they're going to play it that way, then they're going to be getting some passes thrown their way in a hurry because they're playing 20 yards off of them, 10 yards off of them.
1 yard pickup makes it 2nd and 9. 6:40 in county. The pitch comes back now to Chris Comer. Comer dives ahead for maybe a yard or two. Eric Underwood in on the stop. Coming into the ball game, Chris Comer was trailing Arve Villa in total yards, as Chris has missed the last few ball games. Arve started with 687 yards. Comer 570. Although Comer has at least 31, a little over 30 yards so far, so he's over the 600-yard mark, trying to catch his teammate. 2-yard pickup that time will make it 3rd and 7. The ball is to the Cougar 48-yard line. 6:05 left in the first quarter. Case has Lloyd Hill the right side, Wiles to the left. Case looks to throw, looks for Hill, has him open, and has it completed. Down to the 35-yard line, where it's a first down.
They're playing so far off of Lloyd Hill that he is guaranteed a 7-yard pickup if he does nothing. The corner is playing 7-8 yards off of Lloyd Hill, and he's backing up the minute Lloyd Hill comes off the line. He is wide open on every play.
And, Don, a lot of teams have been doing that this year, which is surprising when you have someone the talent of Lloyd Hill to give him that much room.
I think the problem is they don't feel like their quarterback can stay with him, so they're trying to give him a pad so he don't get beat deep.
First and 10.
Kills him with a 10-yarder.
At the 35. Adrian Villa and Lloyd Hill come out to the left side. Backs are split left, and they go right with it to Arve Villa. Arve has the ball near the 30-yard line, down to the 30, where Eric Underwood makes a stop, but a good pickup on first down.
It is very strange what they're doing out here on the outside. They are not inverting on their defense. Their safety is playing back off on the flanker about 10 or 15 yards, and then the corner's playing 7 yards off when they set twin sets off to the side. And believe me, friend, there's so much room to pass, it's scary.
The Panthers have moved to the 30-yard line of the Cougars with 5 minutes to go in the first quarter. It's 2nd and 5. Hill and Adrian Villa come out to the left one more time. The ball going to Chris Comer, and Comer surges ahead, trying to get close to that first down marker. Should end up just a little short.
He is very close, but
Roger Soto
he's going to be about a half a yard short. You need to get just short of the 25-yard line, and he stopped him on about the 26.
You always worry when a player comes back from an injury how he's going to react the first time out, if he'll favor that knee. And with Chris Comer, it was ligament damage, stretched ligaments, but he is not favoring it a bit here in the first quarter. He's done very well. 3rd and 1 from the 26. Case to Arve Villa, has the first down and more inside the 20-yard line. Brandon Mills on the stop. When your secondary makes a stop, you know that they've got plenty of yards for the first down.
Well, the Cooper defense is keying on Comer, that's obvious, and they're playing so soft to the outside people that this could be, I think they're going to have to come out of that. They're going to have to come up and play Lloyd Hill nose to nose, and then they're going to have to play all the backs.
Full house backfield. Case looks to throw, looking for Lloyd Hill. Has time, and he'll run the ball now and slips down to the 15-yard line. That's the first time in the first quarter that slippery turf has caused a problem with Stoney Case.
Well,
or with anyone.
The field is a little bit wet out there. That was a little unusual that time. Permian set up, it looked like a pure running formation. They had 2 tight ends and a full house backfield, an old tight T formation, and then they back up and like they're going to throw out of it. A little bit of a fooler on the part of Coach Gaines.
For Stoney, only the 13th time he has run all year long. Picks up 3 yards right there to make it 2nd and 7. 13 carries for 70 yards on the year. Line of scrimmage is a 15-yard line as Case gives it to Comer. Inside the 10, inside the 5, into the end zone, and that's a mojo touchdown.
I tell you what, there is no doubt in my mind that Chris Comer at least has got all the confidence in the world in that knee that he injured, because he is spinning out of tackles, twisting and turning and backing over people, doing a great job of running. Wearing a very, very heavy brace on the leg, but it absolutely has not appeared to slow him down in the least.
Welcome back, Chris Comer. Try for the point after. Clint Stewart with the kick. He's 2 for 2 on the night. Now he's 3 for 3. With 3 minutes and 21 seconds left to go in the first quarter, the Panthers are in control, 21-0.
I think this is the team that showed up against San Angelo.
Well, I think also it's the Permian team that's getting ready for Lee.
Well, you know, I'm sure Coach Gaines and everybody else has kept telling him, you got to worry about Cooper, you got to worry about Cooper. But don't kid me. I played the game too long. They're looking at Lee, and they've been thinking about Lee. What you try to do is to channel that aggression into Abilene Cooper as they get ready for Lee. So they tell them you got to play through them, you know, because they've got to be looking at Midland Lee. Midland Lee is the team that's beat them 3 years in a row, and they've got to play in Midland. They're going to be. It's a big game, and I know they've got to be looking at it.
The scoring drive for Permian, 8 plays, 51 yards, 3 minutes and 56 seconds. Chris Comer with his 2nd touchdown run of the night, a 15-yarder this time. And for Comer, he has 12 touchdowns on the year after the 2 that he has tacked on here tonight. Comer going down early in the Midland game, so really he has missed the last 3 games for the Panthers. And he has returned very successfully tonight. The Cougars get it back with another kickoff here in the first quarter of play. And the Panthers stop them again. Good kick coverage, getting out to the 20. Robbie Manelli on the stop that time for the Panthers.
Well, this is, just great defensive coverage as you come down. People stay in their lanes and cut his legs out from under him. That's what you're supposed to do. He brings it back right on the 20-yard line. That's called a negative kick return, because you can get it on the 20 if you let it go in the end zone.
Kevin Mannix was also there that time for the Panthers. 3 minutes and 17 seconds to go in the first quarter. Permian has it 1st and 10, or that is Cooper has it 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. Lanny Owens has receivers right and left, has a man in motion. That is Lacey. Hands it off on the draw.
Oh.
And he is hit hard and punished. Chris McMillan right in the middle right there. They're not just hitting him, they're punishing him.
I mean, Chris McMillan just absolutely levels this man. Oh, and well, it's not only Chris
Robbie
McMillan.
Manelli.
Robbie Manelli is the big one that really put the shellacking on him.
And also in there for Permian, let's give everybody credit, Greg Kwiatkowski, middle linebacker, came in there.
That's what you call using the old shillelagh.
No gain on the last play. 2nd and 10. The defense is definitely fired up tonight. Owens has it. Owens is down. He does pick up about 5 yards, but the Panthers contained him well. Zane Watson, another one of the Panther linebacking crew, who is doing a good job in this ball game tonight. And Greg Kwiatkowski was there once again.
Well, Greg Kwiatkowski, of course, is another one of the keys that's back as far as the Permian defense is concerned. He missed the first 4 or 5 games of the year with a injury he suffered in the summer baseball, and it's big. It's good to have him back in there because he is a big part of the defense.
3rd and 5 from the 25. 2:05 to go in the first quarter. Permian leading 21-zip. Lanny Owens drops to throw. Gets it away barely. Incomplete and almost intercepted by Trent Hendrick on the far side. Incomplete pass, and that means the Panther defense has held one more time.
The total yardage at this point for Abilene Cooper is 17 yards, and they've had, 3 possessions?
3 possessions.
They've picked up a total of 17 yards in 3 possessions. That's not very whoopy. Permian Panthers have had it only really 2 possessions on offense, they've already got 84 yards in the ball game.
And as the defense came off the field that time, the Permian crowd was on their feet. A fine ovation for a great defensive effort here in the first quarter of play. The ball kicked away from Arve V, and he'll let it go out of bounds. Still, it'll set the Panthers up in pretty good field position, just shy of the 45-yard line. It'll be their own 45 with 1:49 left in the first quarter of play.
Only about a 30-yard punt, which is not going to help your kicking average a whole lot. Of course, he's kicking into, the breeze has died down somewhat, but it's still a pretty good breeze out of the south.
Well, the defense has set up the offense in great field position. The first one, of course, was a 52-yard return by Lloyd Hill. The next series started from the 31, and then the Panthers started from the 49. So this is the farthest back they've started, and they're at their own 45-yard line, which isn't too bad. Stony Case has one man in his backfield. Chris Comer, quick pop, right side. Lloyd Hill has it, first down. Hill inside the 40. Hill gets around one, needs a block, gets it. He's down to the 30-yard line. Hill is on his feet, and Hill behind another block from Arve Villa takes it in. That's a mojo touchdown. There is a flag on the field.
It's going to be a clip, and they're going to call it on that first block you called for. Either clip or a face mask.
That was a beautiful run, and Lloyd Hill was into the end zone when the flag came out. He was crossing into the end zone when the flag came out.
Holding is the call. I believe they're going to call a holding call. Let's take a look, see if we can pick it up.
What a fantastic run, though.
But a great run right there by Lloyd Hill. He makes a great move, looks back, picks up his receiver, or his blocker. Right there's the hold.
Adrian Villa, his
that
brother.
That was the hold right there. So he had a handful of jersey.
I said his brother. I was thinking of Arve when I said it. It was Adrian Villa. There was Adrian and Arve were in the same picture there.
Right.
He's not Lloyd's brother.
Are you sure?
I don't think so.
Is Lloyd sure?
It'll all come back. But it was exciting.
It was exciting.
Yeah.
Minute 38 left to go in the quarter. They still got time to score again.
In fact, for pure excitement, this first quarter has been outstanding. I mean, defense, offense, everything is clicking right now for Permian.
Well, that's the first penalty. It was a big and costly one, of course, because it cost them a touchdown.
So instead of in the end zone for 6, the Panthers will have it 1st and 10 at the 32-yard line. Minute and a half left in the first quarter of play. Stony Case has Comer in his backfield. Looking to pop it to Lloyd Hill. Can't find him, so he goes right side, and he finds Adrian Villa, who is trying to wrestle free at the 30. Can't do so, but he still has the completion. Primary receiver was Lloyd Hill with the left. He was covered, so he went to Adrian on the right.
I'll tell you what is amazing tonight that I have noticed about the Permian receivers and the Permian running backs have a different attitude tonight than I have watched all year long. They don't want to go down. I mean, watch them. There's people hanging all over them. They're breaking tackles. They're doing the things that you have to do if you're going to win and be very successful in high school football in West Texas.
Adrian Villa now 5 completions on the year for 43 yards. 2nd and 8. Late in the first quarter. Stony Case looks to throw. Completes it to Arve Villa. Arve inside the 20. Arve brought down at the 16-yard line. Another first down. Brandon Mills and Eric Underwood bringing him to the turf.
28 seconds left to go in the first quarter, and the first down, of course, stops the clock until they can move the chains. They'll get one more playoff probably, at least.
Arve Villa, coming into the ball game, had 3 receptions for 49 yards, so that's only his 4th reception of the year. But he takes that one down to the 15-yard line. 17 seconds as the ball goes to Arve Villa on the pitch. Arve inside the 10, and that's a mojo touchdown. 4 touchdowns in the first quarter for the Panthers. Arve Villa with his first of the night.
I tell you what, this is old student body to the right, my folks, and he gets right up in behind his blocking, then cuts it to the outside, and he's gone. And I mean, he had the blocks out in front of him that time.
15-yard carry for Arve Villa. And it's 27-0. Clint Stewart lines up for the extra point. Snap back. And the kick is good.
28-0.
In the first quarter.
I thought I saw all kinds of movement in the line before the snap, but nobody threw a flag. I don't know. Wasn't he flagged? Nobody cares.
Scoring drive for Permian.
Nobody's screaming.
No. 55 yards, 4 plays, a minute 38.
And Coach Peel will scream.
Yes.
Let's take a look at the slow-mo. We can see if there was movement there. Watch. Oops. Well, we picked that up a little late. Picked that up a little bit late there. If we could maybe, well, never mind. It's not that big a deal. There's no flag, no penalty, and it's 28-0.
Good point.
And it's 11 seconds left in the first quarter.
And Malcolm Hamilton is getting tired of kicking off. How many times is this? 5 kickoffs in the first quarter?
Yeah, right. 28 and 28 is 56.
No,
56
don't play
and 56
this game.
is 112.
Right.
So we're at 112.
SMU's record is history after tonight, right? Is that what you're saying?
I hope Gary Gaines would not do that.
No, I don't think he would, but at the same time, I do believe, Don, that he would like to leave his starters in a little longer tonight since he is playing the game next week against Lee. We keep bringing it up, but it is something that you have to consider. There's the kick from Malcolm Hamilton. Brought
Fielded
down
at
by
the
the Cougars.
5 and brought out to the 24. I think we've been here before.
Yeah, Robbie Manelli on the stop. Ronnie just brought up a good point, though. You also have to consider the injury factor at this stage, and you don't want to leave him in there too long. Well, at least you can say that the Cougars have been very consistent as far as where they have started their drives.
The 25, the 23, the 20, the 22, and the 23 again.
That's about it. Yeah, right. They're all
know.
inside, all between the 20 and 25, and they've done that 4 or 5 times. We're losing count. 1st and 10 at the 24-yard line. Owens handing it off to C.J. Wilson. And that is the first carry for Wilson. And Wilson is the leading ground gainer on the season for the Cougars, as Wilson came into the ball game with a total of 610 yards, 4th in district. First quarter of play is over, but what a quarter it was for Permian. 28-0 after 1 complete from Ratliff Stadium. We'll be back with more action between the Cougars and the Panthers in just a moment. Stadium, Kurt Kaiser along with Don Scott as we get ready for quarter number 2. And the Cougars will begin it with the football, 2nd and 6 from their own 28-yard line. Lanny Owens gives it off to Raymond Hunter, and Hunter with a short pickup will take it to the 30. Steve Womack in on the hit that time for the Panthers. Again, Womack has been very, very sound defensively, as has the entire defensive unit for Permian here in the first half.
I tell you what, defensive standouts for Permian are 11 people out there tonight because they're all doing a fine job. Womack has been in on a lot of plays, but everybody else has been in there a lot too.
There's Chris Comer on the sidelines. Trainer Trapper O'Connell working on him, working on that knee.
His brace was sliding down on him, and I think he's taping it up higher.
3rd and 5. Owens to throw. It is incomplete. Pass was intended out on the right side. Defending on the play was Kevin Mannix, who brought Cedillo down. Looks like it might have been tipped right here.
You have to say that this is a rude. Yes, it was tipped, and it is a rather rude. Oh well, it wasn't all that bad. I thought Kevin treated him rudely, but he did not.
Todd Allen with the pressure right there on the quarterback Owens,
and he did tip the ball.
So the defense has once again done their job.
Well, we're very short in. Let's see what happens here. Short kick.
Shanks it out of bounds. And I believe they will mark this one in Cougar territory. It's where the Panthers will begin this next drive. 45. It will be at the 45-yard line, just shy of the 45. So Permian again with excellent field position as they put their offensive unit back out there. And for 28 points, the offense has not been on the field very long.
Yes, and they've got 143 yards total offense to rack up 83 points. Abilene Cooper at this point, total offense, 22 yards.
22. It's really more than I thought they had, to be honest. 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. Harvey Villa splits out left. Adrian Villa splits out right. Chris Comer in the backfield behind Stoney Case. Chris gets the football up the middle, breaks one tackle, and goes ahead.
And he didn't break a tackle from a little fellow either. That was a 235.
205.
205.
Yeah, Steve McKaylee.
Steve McKaylee, and he hits him solid, but he just sloughs it off and goes off. Says, go away, don't bother me, fly.
I'm busy. 2nd and 7 from the 42-yard line.
But I got works to do tonight.
Under the 11-minute mark. As Alan Wiles goes to the right side, and R.B. Villa is out to the left. Case gives the ball back the other way to Lloyd Hill. Hill looking for running room. Goes around one man. Inside the 35. Tight ropes it down the sidelines and is pushed out of bounds. See where he finally stepped out. It'll be way up bounds.
He just made the first down. It looks like he's on about the 33-yard line.
Ben Holmes pushed him out. Misdirection play as Hill gets it. And Hill has not carried the ball a lot this year. In fact, coming in 4 carries for 22 yards.
Right in there is where he stepped out of bounds.
So that's his 5th carry of the year. It picks up a first down as he picked up 9 yards. 10:34 to go in the first half. Hill lines up wide left, full house backfield. The pitch comes to Adrian Villa behind a great block from Arve. Adrian is inside the 20-yard line, cuts back. Adrian is at the 10, and he stumbles down inside the 10. He had everyone beat.
He had shoestringed on about the 20, and he just couldn't quite get his feet back under him. Student body to the left.
The first block by Arve right there.
Right there was a great block. Another good block right there. Chris Comer gets a little shove block, and right there, he gets shoestringed, and he can't. Actually, Lloyd Hill was trying to help him up. He was trying to hold him up. Say, come on.
Get in there. Nice run. 1st and 10, 1st and goal at the 10. Full house, double tight end. Lloyd Hill has it. Inside the 10, inside the 5. Lloyd goes down to the 4-yard line.
Now, I've never seen Lloyd Hill run on the power sweep before, but he was lined up in a full house backfield, and he was the pitch man that time. And a good block by Comer out there as Comer and Villa got a good load block out there on the contain man.
Eric Underwood finally brought him down. Under the 10-minute mark, the Panthers showing a few variations in their offense here tonight. 2nd and goal as they've spotted the ball at the 3. And there's 3 men in the backfield. And Adrian gets it inside the 5, and that's a mojo touchdown. Adrian Villa gets his 6th. Watch it from ground level, the block by Chris Comer, and Arve Villa leading Adrian in.
I tell you what, that's one of the things that Chris Comer's, the Permian Panthers missed Chris Comer as a running back. There's no doubt that's his biggest contribution. But Ellie, he is also a whale of a blocker. A whale of a blocker. He really throws that lead block out there. He hurts people when he hits them.
Try for the point after. We've been here before. This is the 5th time we've been here tonight, and it's good. There's 9 minutes and 33 seconds left to go in the first half of play. The Panthers having fun at Ratliff Stadium as they lead it 35-0 over the Cooper Cougars.
I tell you, Kurt, you almost have run out of superlatives. 188 yards total offense already by the Permian Panthers. 132 on the ground, 56 through the air, and they're leading 35-0. All phases of their game tonight have been great. The Abilene Cooper Cougars have yet to pick up a first down. They've only picked up 22 yards total, 2 yards passing, 20 yards on the ground. It's been a total and complete domination at this point by the Permian Panthers.
The scoring drive for Permian, 5 plays, 45 yards, 1 minute and 44 seconds. And the right foot of Malcolm Hamilton we put into action one more time.
Malcolm Hamilton's got to be getting tired.
Definitely.
He says, I don't kick off this much in practice.
The Panthers will also get the ball first in the second half, as they did kick off to begin this game.
Right. That's some more bad news for Cooper.
There's the kick. Taking it to 12-yard line. And the Cougars will not start inside the 25. The best starting field position for the Cougars so far tonight.
Out to the 27.
Johnny Seeley in on the tackle that time for Permian. And also Mike Faulkner for the Panthers. 9 minutes and 29 seconds to go in the first half of play. And it's 1st and 10 Cougars from their own 27-yard line. Lanny Owens, the quarterback, trying to rally his troops as he sends Raymond Hunter to the right side. David Cedillo is to the left, 1 man in the backfield, and that is C.J. Wilson. Owens looks to throw. Owens has time across the middle, completed. That was John Lewis that caught the pass. Trent Hendrick brings him down. The first down of the night for the Cougars, and their best penetration as they take it to midfield.
Well, that was probably just about double their offense that time. About a 20-yard pass completion, somewhere in that neighborhood. That's 23 yards. It did more than double it. Now they're up to 45 yards.
John Lewis, big tight end, 215-pound junior. Reminds me a lot, as I said, when they played the Broncos, of Quincy White, played for Lee last year. 1st and 10 at the 50. Owens has it. Owens is going down with a short pickup of 2, maybe 3 yards.
Well, the Abilene Cooper Cougars certainly have not quit in this ball game, as they are continuing to hammer away in there. But, you know, when you're down 35-0 in the first quarter, that's a long ways down.
Yes, it is. That was Greg Kwiatkowski, one of a trio of Panthers, in on the stop. 2nd and 7. With 8:35 and counting left in the first half. Owens to throw. Pumps once, brings it down, and completes the pass, short of a first down. As the pass was completed out on the left side to Brian Roper, Trent Hendrick brought him down.
Trent came up and played that one very well. I mean, he'll let him have that 2 or 3 yard pass as long as he's not at first down markers when he catches it. And he got it, dropped him very quickly for a short gain. Brings up a 3rd and 5.
So to make it a 2-yard pickup on the pass play. Called too many touchdowns already, the voice.
Oh, that problem will be solved as you get older.
Thank you. 3rd and 5 from the 45. The first time the Cougars have been in Panther territory under the 8-minute mark. Owens keeps the football. Will not pick up the first down. Zane Watson on the stop. And I'll be very surprised if the Cougars don't go for it on 4th down.
Well, I would be surprised. That's not a, you know, we're 7 minutes, 13 seconds, and you have not made but one first down. It's difficult to say that you're going to go for it at this point.
We're both surprised.
I don't think they're going to go for it. They're going to punt it.
They're going to punt.
Yeah, they couldn't be, you know, but it's not desperation time yet.
No, but if the Panthers get the football there, that's where they've normally been getting it anyway, so you're not really pushing them back too far.
Yes, but they've scored every time they've got it there.
Yeah, but you're down 35-0.
Well, and they didn't get much of a punt anyway.
Right.
Good night. That can't be more than a 10-yard punt.
They're still walking upfield, spotting it at the 31.
Make it a 14-yard punt. Have a little problem with the kicking game here tonight for the Cooper Cougars. Very short punt off the side of his foot, and they've got the wind that was here behind them, but now it has gone away.
Yeah, where'd the wind go?
The wind goes? I don't know. You're talking fast, and it's going to the south, and that's killed it, nullified it.
I understand. 1st and 10. Permian will start from their own 30-yard line, farthest back they've been all night long. Case puts Lloyd Hill in motion to the right side. Stoney looks to throw. Looking downfield. Does not have time. Brought down. No. Yes, he is down.
He put the football on the ground. That's down. When you put the football on the ground, you are down.
You're down.
That's ground down.
So big loss on the play, all the way back to the 20-yard line. So a 10-yard loss. And you see the pressure being applied by Steve McKaylee.
I tell you what, Adrian Villa broke open just about the time Stoney Case got scrambled loose and looked upfield, and he was wide open going down the middle of the field. Stoney saw him, and that was the reason he was so disgusted he couldn't throw the ball, because he had a wide open receiver streaking at the goal line. 2nd
and 20 from the 20. That's Alan Wiles in motion. Case gives it on the delay to Chris Comer. Comer, tough running, takes it to the 25-yard line. Eric Underwood the stop, along with Troy Evans.
5-yard pickup on the play. On a delay play, a belly draw, whatever you want to call it.
It's Todd Allen trying to help him go just a little bit farther right there. Trying to pull him through that hole there.
No one would push. That's illegal.
No, he wasn't pushing, he was pulling.
That's illegal.
3rd and 15 from the 25. Case gives the ball over to the right side to Lloyd Hill. Hill at the 30. Hill to the 33-yard line. It'll still be well short of a first down. Roger Soto on the stop that time. No, it wasn't Roger Soto. Instead, that was John Lewis on the stop.
And you're going to see a Permian punt.
But it doesn't come until there's 5 minutes and 20 seconds left in the first half of play, with Permian in control, 35-0. Steve Womack will come on to do the punting. And coming into the ball game tonight, Steve leads District 4-5A, 14 kicks, 507 yards, which is a 36.2-yard average.
That's decent average. Consistent.
Line of scrimmage to 33. Good snap. Womack has time.
Just as I say that, he gets off a blooper. Boy, did we jinx him on that one.
This one will go out of bounds at around the 42-yard line. There's 4 minutes and 50 seconds left to go in the first half of play. We'll take a timeout with Permian leading at 35-0 over the Cooper Cougars. This is a Channel 7 sports production.
I needed a doctor. My wife called the physician's referral service at Odessa's Women's and Children's Hospital, you know, Phil. And my new doc is great. But I was just a little nervous about going to a women's and children's hospital for day surgery. Well, not to worry, he says. They'll do a great job and it's convenient and affordable. And you know, he was right. Hey! From now on, Odessa Women's and Children's Hospital is my hospital, too.
Odessa Women's and Children's Hospital. You'll want to call us your hospital.
Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
We created the Sony Handycam video camcorder to be a part of some memorable trips, some fascinating journeys, some unforgettable memories. But nothing compares to a trip we took in May of 1989 when the Sony Handycam was a privileged passenger on the Space Shuttle Atlantis. After preserving memories for...
Back at Ratliff Stadium with 4:50 left in the second quarter, Cooper begins 1st and 10 from their own 42-yard line. Lanny Owens has a man in motion to the right side, and Owens looks to throw right, puts it in the air, and it is incomplete. Intended for John Lewis. Zane Watson was defending against Lewis, but it was not close enough to him.
I think it was Womack that tipped the ball that time. I'm not sure, but look right here as he throws. Yep, Womack got his hand up and tipped at it. No, it was Chad Williams, pardon me. Too tall, Williams.
Too tall, yeah. 2nd and 10 as you get a look at Larry Peel for the Cooper Cougars.
He's got to be thinking, woo, what have I run into tonight?
Clock stops with 4:46 to go in the first half. Raymond Hunter goes to the right side. 2 receivers to the left. Cedillo and Lewis is now back in motion. Owens on the draw. Gives it to Wilson. Breaks 1 tackle. Breaks 2. Tripped up and down. He didn't break the 2nd tackle. And there should be a flag right there, but there isn't. Chad Williams and Zane Watson combining right there. As that play ends, Jelaine Parton, you'll see, number 67, goes a little bit after the play there to give one more final shove. As we can keep it running. There he goes. See, he's down on the ground. Keep going. Let that go. Oh, we didn't get him. Trust me. He came in there. Okay. All right. I just talked to Todd in the headset. You're not supposed to do that. Third and 10. Owens back to throw. In the air, completed, but it's short of a first down.
Pass is complete.
Raymond Hunter, the receiver.
Now that's going to bring up a 4th down and 1 yard to go, and this may be the point when you see the Cooper Cougars go for it.
I say it again. I'll be surprised if they punt.
No, I don't think this time. I think they're going to go for it. I think they will because they really, you've only got 1 yard to go. Your offense has shown a little bit of spark the last 2 times around. You're down 35 points. There's only 3:33 left in the first half of play. You need to do something.
And the Panther fans trying to get some enthusiasm going once again as the ball carrier is Ken Lacey.
He got it on 2nd effort. He spun off the tackle and dropped over backwards. Wait a minute. Where he's spotting it, he may not. Yeah, ooh, it's going to be close. It's a first where he marked it. Where he marked it, it is a first. Very close, but it's a first.
Well, they are going to make it official and measured. You see part of the Permian crowd, which is here tonight at Ratliff Stadium.
A little bit of rain might have scared a few people away tonight. No, they did not make it. They are short.
The Panthers have held once again on 4th down.
They are short by 2 inches. Whoa, me. Larry Peel has got to say that Ratliff Stadium is the worst place in the world to play football. He came down here a couple of weeks ago, played Odessa High, and fell up just 4 points short on the scoreboard. Came down here tonight, tried to go for a 4th down, and fourth and about a yard and came up an inch short.
So the Panther offense, with 3 minutes and 23 seconds showing on the clock, gets their hands back on the football at their own 48-yard line. Arve Villas to the left, Adrian Villas to the right. Comer's in the backfield. Lloyd Hill is tight on the left side. Pitch comes to Chris Comer. Comer into Cougar territory, spins down to the 46-yard line, brought down by Roger Soto of the Cougars.
Roger Soto, number 41, making the tackle.
Well, this is just good power running one more time by Chris Comer. What can you say? The young man been out for a couple of weeks, 3 weeks with a strained knee ligaments. He's got a big, heavy knee brace on tonight, but it doesn't seem to be slowing him down one iota bit, and he is rushing and carrying the ball and doing it with a vengeance.
6-yard pickup makes it 2nd and 4. Case to Comer. Comer will get near a first down.
Very close to a first down. Oh, boy, where they mark it, I don't know. I can't see the football.
Watch the way the Panthers are.
I can't tell. I can't see where the ball is. There's a number 41 standing between me and defeat's ball.
Look at the way that offensive line is dealing with the size. They're going up against guys 185, 205, 235.
Doing a good job. Of course, Permian's offensive line is pretty good size themselves, and they are, they are about 2 or 3 inches short, but it's only second down.
Third down. Is it second? No, that's third.
It's third down coming up.
There we go.
Yeah, third down. Change the yard. Third and a very few inches.
It's about a smidgen.
If you can't pick up 3 inches in 2 carries, you're in trouble.
Yes, sir.
I have seen the time when it didn't happen.
Coming up at halftime, of course, we'll enjoy the Marching Mojo Band.
And also the Abilene Cooper Band, which when we saw it about 2 or 3 weeks ago, was down here, and they did a good job.
Outstanding. Yeah, they're one of the top bands in the district, as is Permian's.
And today, when you're watching this game this afternoon.
Boy, was that a great band competition?
Yeah, it was a great band competition.
Out at Ratliff Stadium, Arve Villa looking for the first down, has the first down, down the sideline, spins inside the 30. Roger Soto finally bringing Arve down, but not before he made a nice pickup.
Number 41.
I tell you what, this is just another great run, great balance by Arve Villa, good eyesight, twists, spins, carries down for another 4 or 5 yards, does all those things coaches teach you to, spin, push off the tackle, stiff arm, will knock off the arms that are trying to tackle you, spin, move, finish off the run. How many times can you say it?
1st and 10 at the Cougar 28. Case looks to throw, has a receiver, Alan Wiles. Wiles inside the 25-yard line, down to the 22. Eric Underwood on the stop. Roger Soto may have been there as well for the Cougars.
Well, Underwood and Soto should be given credit for a 2-yard gain for Permian on that, because they hit Alan Wiles and drive him forward about 2 yards. He's right there. 1,
there we
2,
go.
3. Yeah, they hit him about 2 more yards forward.
6-yard pickup will make it 2nd and 4. And there you see the clock with 1:45 and counting left in the first half. Full house backfield. Double tight end now. Instead, they split out to the right side with Hill and Adrian Villa to the right. Case looks to throw, pumps once, looking for Lloyd Hill. Looking in the end zone, and that's the Mojo touchdown! Lloyd Hill took it away, and I can't wait to see this one on replay.
I've got to see this on a slow-mo replay. When we show this one back, let's slow it way down when he makes the catch here. Way down right at the end of it. There comes the ball through the air. Now get real slow here, folks. He jumps up in the air. Now he's covered. He's really covered down here. Look, the man's in front of him.
Up and over.
He took it away. He got it out of his face and took it. I don't know how he did that. I'll tell you who else doesn't know how he did that. The young man from Abilene Cooper doesn't understand how he did that.
But he did it, and with 1 minute and 27 seconds left in the first half, the Panthers have added another one. It is 42-0.
I'll tell you what's bad about that for the defensive back. Mike Herron, let's take a little look at it here. Mike Herron he's playing picture-perfect defense. He is in exactly the right spot. He does the right thing. He jumps, he gets up in the air, and Lloyd Hill just takes it away from him. I don't know. He just takes it away. You know, defensive back, that's very frustrating.
Yeah, it has to be.
Because he had perfect coverage that time. You can't do it any better than that.
Boy. And that shows you why Lloyd Hill is an all-stater, why Lloyd Hill is being looked at by several major colleges, why he's a big part of this Permian team. Great touchdown pass. Lloyd has scored one tonight with the punt return and now with the touchdown pass. Did he have another one? 3 touchdowns?
That's the 3rd touchdown.
74 yards. 7 for 7 passing for Stony Case. Okay.
Woohoo.
Let's see, I'm losing
7
track.
for 7 passing, 93 yards. Woo, that's not bad.
I'm losing track of all the touchdowns now.
I don't know who did it all.
There's a kick by Malcolm Hamilton.
Malcolm's got to be tired.
Taken by Lewis, and he'll be down at around the 28-yard line.
John Lewis, number
There's 1:24 left. Zane Watson bringing the ball carrier down.
42-0.
And I really don't think halftime can come quick enough now for the Cougars.
Well, when you're behind this much at halftime, I'm not sure what the coach says.
Get on the bus.
Let's go to the house, boys.
Let's go. We can watch
where was it we were
late
gonna
movies when we get home.
Yeah, where was it we were going to eat after the game?
Yeah.
Oh, and tell them to fix it now.
John Lambert goes out wide left, wishbone, as they pitch it to the right side. That's Ken Lacey, and Lacey will be brought down. Steve Womack with the hit. Boy, Womack's played like a wild man here in the first half.
number 30.
I tell you what, the entire Permian defense has just played absolutely flawless defense all night long. They've stopped it in the middle. They've stopped it out wide. They've stopped it. I don't care where you go with it. And it's usually not just one like that time. Womack made the first hit, but there are 2 or 3 other people there that are getting in on the hit, too. They want to share the people.
That's right. I want a leg.
Right.
2nd and 9 from the 28.
I want to take it home.
Owens pressured down, sacked inside the 20-yard line. Chad Williams with the big hit for Permian.
I tell you what, Too Tall Williams just comes storming in there. And I mean, Owens never saw him. He never did know where he was.
Chad got hit more when he got back to the huddle than he did when he was going through the line.
And
They're still giving him high fives. 7-yard loss will make it 3rd and 16, and the Cougars are going to stay in the huddle.
What was funny with that is he's back there getting a high five from Robbie Manelli, and for him to get a high five, he sticks his hand straight out, and Robbie Manelli jumps up.
5 seconds left in the half.
Ooh, fumble.
Cougars get the play away, though, as Lanny Owens is still on his feet. Now he's going back the other way.
Mistake.
Lanny, he's going right side. Johnny Seeley brings him down from behind, and the first half of play is over. What a half for Mojo. 42 points on the scoreboard. The defense has been outstanding, and the Panthers are in control over the Cougars. Our halftime score, 42-zip. We'll be back with our halftime show in just a moment. This is the Channel 7 Sports Production.
Marching Panther Band for your halftime entertainment.
take a stroll down memory lane to the time of Bobby Sox, Saddle Oxfords, and Ponytails as soloist Chad Agnew and the Permian Band performs Breaking Up Is Hard to Do and Lover Come Back to Me. Salute the 50th anniversary of the classic movie great The Wizard of Oz as the band performs Here's That Rainy Day and Somewhere Over the Rainbow. The Permian band will be competing tomorrow evening at 8 p.m. in UIL District Marching Contest. Please come out and show your great mojo support to the band. We would certainly appreciate it. Band officers for 1989-90R, Captain Yosh Schmidt. First Lieutenant Richard Machuca. Brass Lieutenant Ty Lou. Woodwind Lieutenant Bobby Chandler. Percussion Lieutenant Rick Hope. Chaplain Michelle Sanchez. Flight Lieutenant Melanie Michaels and Jill Miller. With drum majors O.D. Wilson and Liz Rogers. The band is under the direction of Mr. Van Rysdale and Mr. Michael Watts. You know what's about to happen. Help make it happen.
Back at Ratliff Stadium, and we know you enjoy the Marching Mojo Band and a great halftime performance once again at halftime of this game between the Cooper Cougars and the Permian Panthers. Permian well in control, 42-zip. Their touchdowns, and we have to run through them quickly because there's been so many of them. It started with a 52-yard kickoff return for Lloyd Hill. After that, it was Chris Comer. It was Chris Comer again. It was Arbe Villa. It was Adrian Villa. It was Lloyd Hill with a touchdown grab to make the score 42-0.
And the stats really are misleading because Permian kept having such tremendous field position. They took the ball most of the time at midfield or closer. And here's the great catch by Lloyd Hill. Folks, this is one that goes in the record book. I don't know how he catches the football. The defender had absolutely perfect position, and Lloyd Hill just goes over the top of him and takes the football away, goes down with it for a touchdown.
Don, I was talking at halftime with one of the Cooper coaches, and he says, we believe right now, and he also said that he thinks Lloyd Hill should be a #1 draft pick, skip college, go to the NFL after that catch.
Well, I can believe that because it was absolutely amazing. Here's your quick stats for you. Total yardage, Abilene Cooper High School have 58 yards total offense in the first half. Permian only 243, despite the fact they've got 42 points on the board. An amazing thing, Stony Case, after having 2 interceptions last week, has come back. He is absolutely perfect in the first half, 7 for 7 for 93 yards and 1 or 2 touchdowns. 1 touchdown, 2 touchdowns. I can't remember, a bunch. 2 touchdowns he's had. 7 for 7, 2 touchdowns, 93 yards passing, absolutely great. Permian 12 first downs to 1 first down for Abilene Cooper. And everything else is very similar to that. It's a 42-0 ball game. The stats agree with the scoreboard. It is 42-0.
The Panthers just about ready to come back onto the field. The Cooper Cougars have arrived. The captains are meeting at the center of the field. And you see the banner that the team will run through in just a few moments. Permian a step above the rest. And they certainly have been a few steps above the Cooper Cougars tonight in a game which they have totally dominated. We'll be back to bring you the second half of action from Ratliff Stadium in a moment. This is the Channel 7 Sports Production.
Carwell Service Incorporated, Odessa, Texas, buys, leases.
And the Permian Panthers come back onto the field at Ratliff Stadium. And there you see them giving our cameraman a good shot as they come on by.
And the wind has picked up once again, Kurt. It is blowing out of the south once again, blowing toward the north. That makes a lot of sense, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
If it's blowing out of the south, it certainly isn't blowing into the south. South to north wind. And that will be behind the Abilene Cooper Cougars back as they start the second half of play, trailing this game by a 42-0 count. I would not have liked to have been in the Abilene Cooper dressing room because we saw an example of Coach Peel's temper with officials here a couple of weeks ago, and I don't imagine it was real pleasant in there at halftime.
No, I don't think so. There are a few questions, though, for Gary Gaines as he begins the second half. He has to be sure just how long he will go with his starting crew. We talked about the injury situation earlier, and also when a game gets to be 42-0, a little out of hand as it is right now, players tend to relax a little bit, and that is when injuries occur. So that's something that Coach Gaines will have to keep an eye on. And at the same time, though, try to prepare his team for next week's game, where the starting crew is expected to play the entire way. And
okay, we're going to have a kickoff return from Permian, Alavia.
That's right. Arbe and Adrian are back near the goal line, ready to receive the first kick of the night from Abilene Cooper. And it is Arbe. It'll take it right at the goal line and come out with a football. Arbe is to the 15, now he's to the 20, he's down the sidelines, he's to the 30, the 35, and he's brought down at the 35-yard line.
A nice run back, a nice wall set up for him, and a nice lead brought by brother Adrian. Arbe and Adrian.
Adrian, that's it.
It's La Via. Here we go, Alavia.
That's my middle name, Adrian, you know. Did you know
Adrian.
that? You've learned something tonight.
Well, at least we have one Adrian here who can do something well.
Number 40 on the field. First and 10 Panthers. They will start it from their own 35-yard line with Comer behind Stony Case. And that is not Stony Case. Instead, that is Blake Tucker, and that is not Comer. That is Brian Rogers, and Rogers takes it into Cooper territory.
Does that tell you how long the first team's going to play in the second half?
I think so. That's Roger Soto that made the tackle. So let's start this one again. That was Blake Tucker at quarterback. That is Brian Rogers at fullback right now.
Wiles is in there still, I see.
I said Gary Gaines had some questions. He answered those questions before I even asked him. The ball is to the 48-yard line. And the substitutions have begun with Ben Arnold wide to the right side. Josh Sumner's in there left along with Alan Wiles. Tucker looks to throw. Completes it to Wiles. Wiles looking for room. Takes it inside the 40 down to the 40, or inside the 45 to the 40. Nice move by Allen after he caught the football. Roger Soto making the stop that time. For Blake Tucker, he is 6 for 6 coming into the game for 38 yards, make him 7 for 7 on the year right now.
Hey, that's not bad. In fact, that's about as good as you can get.
7-yard pickup will make it 2nd and 3.
Okay. Well, Coach Gaines made up his mind real quick what he was going to do the second half. A lot of starters are going to get some rest time.
Tucker on a delay to Rogers. Rogers fights ahead for a first down. Going over Troy Evans, who finally came back and made the stop. So it'll be 1st and 10 Panthers.
Mike Faulkner had a good lead block in there that time. I'm trying to see who else that is in there blocking. Number 68, Todd Allen, with an excellent block.
Larry Serrano, Ben Arnold, and Josh Sumner coming in the lineup for Gary Gaines' Panther team. It'll be Serrano going to the right side and Arnold to the left. Sumner and Rogers in the backfield. Behind Blake Tucker. That's Josh Sumner. Josh Sumner inside the 30 to the 25, the 24-yard line.
Josh Sumner, the ball carrier, number 30.
I'll tell you what, Jonathan Golden that time had a good block. Todd Allen had a good block up front. Robbie Bentley had a good block up front. There was some good hard blocking being done by the line out in front of these ball carriers tonight. I mean, this is basically what I guess you classify as the second backfield. Still the first line in.
That's John Spiker and John Lewis finally making a stop. 1st and 10 at the 23-yard line, under the 11-minute mark. As the ball is handed off to Joey Teagarden. Teagarden inside the 15 and into the end zone. That's a mojo touchdown for Joby Teagarden.
And Jonathan Golden had a lead block coming around the corner that makes all of this possible. Watch number 72 as he comes out here on a lead block, absolutely seals off everybody and drives them back to the inside, and he just kept blocking as we went out, as Teagarden goes out of the picture. Oh, me. Well,
number 42 takes it in for 6.
Maybe number 42 on the program, but number 1 in your heart.
Oh, yes. Trying for the point after.
About as quick as the first touchdown.
Stefan Hansen in for the point after, and it's good. The foreign connection to the Permian Panthers tacks another point on the scoreboard, and with 10 minutes and 36 seconds left to go in the third quarter, it's 49-0.
Whoopee. That's a rapid pace. Robbie Bentley getting a little slap on the back from the coaches as he comes off the sideline there. I tell you what, that offensive Permian offensive front line is doing a tremendous job tonight. They're handling some fairly large people, and they're bashing some holes in there. And on the sweeps, they're sealing everybody to the inside so completely that it's just, you can't do it much better.
That scoring drive for Permian, 5 plays. 1 minute and 16 seconds to take the football 65 yards and to increase the lead to 49-0.
Brings their total yardage up to 305 yards for the game, 100 yards passing, 205 steps on the ground.
Coming in, Permian first in the district in offense, averaging 437 yards per game. And there's Malcolm Hamilton once again. The kick is a short one, and it'll be a short return as Robbie Manelli
rode him to the ground.
Right on top of the Cougar that caught the ball, who was Roger Soto.
Literally on top. He rode him to the ground.
He rode him to the ground, did you say?
Rode him to the ground. It's rodeo time.
It is roundup time at Ratliff Stadium.
And let me tell you what, it may be a cat fight, but the Black Cats are putting the whoop on the other cats.
1st and 10. Cougars from their own 32-yard line. 10:32 left in the third quarter. Lanny Owens looks to throw right side. Pressured, gets it away. It's completed, but right on top of him is Trent Hendrick. Pass was completed to John Lewis.
John Lewis is so big, and Trent Hendricks, all 155 pounds of him, was like he pushed him out of bounds, but he wasn't going to bring him down. I'm sorry, folks, but that he's just not enough lead there to get that job done.
But he did his job. 5-yard pickup will make it 2nd and 5.
And too tall Chad Williams had his hand up in the face again that time.
Yes, he did. Line of scrimmage now the 37-yard line. Pitch coming back now to Raymond Hunter. Hunter stumbles ahead to the 38-yard line for a couple yards, and they'll call a penalty.
I'm not sure about this one, folks. I'm going to have to see it.
Looks like they'll call the late hit. No, spearing? Spearing, okay.
They're called spearing. Let's take a look at the replay. Maybe so, maybe so. I don't know. I didn't see it, but might have been. There's a hit right there. Oh, well. Yeah, I guess. It's questioned, but they called it. The 15 yards goes against them. You know, I've always felt when I was playing ball, coaching ball, watching ball, doing football, you start getting sympathy calls from officials when you get 49 points ahead.
I don't care about sympathy calls. Let's just keep the clock running.
Right. Get this one over with.
Ooh, big hit by Greg Kwiatkowski. Finishing him up also in there, Chad Williams.
Greg Kwiatkowski was called on the penalty the time before, and he was not happy about it, and he did take out his anger and frustrations upon a ball carrier. Watch this, my friends. Womp womp. That's the way a middle linebacker is supposed to play. Step up in the hole, meet the back in the backfield, and put him on his backside.
Under the 10-minute mark. It'll be 2nd and 10. No gain on the last play. Lanny Owens sending Raymond Hunter out wide to the right side, along with Ken Lacey. To the left, it's David Cedillo. One man in his backfield. That's C.J. Wilson, who's had a quiet night. Owens looks to throw. Pressured, gets it away. It's completed to the 35-yard line, right in front of Robbie Manelli. Pass was caught by David Cedillo.
That's another first down. Abilene Cooper got one by penalty here, and another one that doubles their output of the first half. Nice throw and a pretty solid catch over here. You really can't see how good the catch was, but it was low, down and out pitch.
Again, Hunter to the right side, Cedillo to the left. 2 men in the backfield now. Owens keeps it, pitches it out right side to Lacey. Lacey is hemmed in and brought down for a loss. Zane Watson was out there along with Steve Womack.
Did a good job that time defensively, stringing this play out. Somebody takes the quarterback in a hurry, and he has to pitch before he wants to, and then there's a whole host. And, you know, there's still quite a bit of water on the field. You see it fly every once in a while when they make a tackle like that right there. Like that right there. That there.
That there is what happened.
There. Okay, boss.
2-yard loss will make it 2nd and 12 from the 37, under the 9-minute mark. Owens drops to throw, pressured by Manelli, gets it away, and it's incomplete. Pass was intended on the left side for Brian Roper. Defending on the play, Trent Hendrick along with Johnny Seeley.
Ball was way overflown thrown this time. Take a look here at Johnny Seeley this time. You see him right there. He played his man rather closely, and that's perfectly legal. He was running down the field. He has a right to his position on the field. If the other guy wants to run on his back, that's tough.
So the clock will stop with 8:45 left in the third. Cougars a 3rd and 12, and the Panther defense trying to keep that shutout intact. They have 3 shutouts in a row. Going for number 4 here tonight, and flags will fly before the play gets away, as it looked like Hunter moved on the far side of the field.
Hunter had a different snap. He's marching to a different drummer on this one, I believe, as he marched off before the football did. That inevitably will bring a crowd. Somebody whistling and blowing and going, dead ball foul, the man says. Illegal procedure against them folks in the white. Oh, and also against... He called it against Permian also because they made contact with him as he came across, and he felt the contact was somewhat vigorous. Oh, me. I'm sorry, folks. I don't know. You know. Okay. Here we go.
3rd and 12 again.
I promised I was going to be good the rest of the season. I was not going to be critical of the officials.
There you go.
But that only stands for the regular season.
It's easier when you're up 49-0.
That only stands for the rest of the season, not the postgame, not the playoffs.
There's a pass. It's incomplete.
The receiver had fallen down.
Yeah, Cedillo was down. Seeley was watching him there.
Look at the water on the football. It is wet out there. He throws the ball whistling out here to a receiver who is on the belly. Johnny Seeley on top of him.
So it'll be 4th and 12 for the Cougars, but they'll go for it with the ball at the 37-yard line of Permian. 8:17 left in the third quarter of play. Permian leading it 49-0.
Well, Coach Larry Peel is saying we got to get back in the ball game. We're going to have to do it right now. It's a big gamble.
Sure it is. Pressure on Owens. Gets the pass away, but it's short, underthrown, intended for John Lewis.
Probably could have been
held again.
Right, probably could have been a pass interference on that, except for one thing: the pass was not catchable. It was so underthrown. There's no way. I don't know. There was no tip on that one. He just underthrows the ball by 5 yards.
So the Panther offense comes back out. 1st and 10. They'll start it from their own 37-yard line. 8 minutes and 12 seconds left to go in the game. And the stands at Ratliff Stadium are rapidly emptying.
Well, the breeze has freshened somewhat.
I have noticed.
Yes, that's not dice rolling, that's Kurt's teeth.
Exactly. In at quarterback now is Clint Stewart, who hands the ball off to Brian Rogers, and Rogers takes it into Cougar territory.
Rogers did a very good job of following his blocking on this run. He just gets up in behind these lead blockers and just hangs in there and follows his blocking down the field, takes a cut when he has to. There's another blocker. He gets over behind him, follows that block, and picks up another 3 or 4 yards. Very, very intelligent job of running.
So Rogers takes the ball down to the 42-yard line of Cooper, under the 8-minute mark. As Jamie Jarman comes wide to the right side, along with Joby Teagarden. One man in the backfield, and that is Brian Rogers behind the quarterback Clint Stewart, the 3rd Panther quarterback of the night. Rogers again. Rogers with room. Rogers at the 30-yard line.
Got a great block out in front of him.
Inside the 20, down to the 15. Brian Rogers.
I'm not sure who threw the block. I think it was Teagarden out in front of him that threw the block that time. Someone out there, and I'll have to see who it was. Let's take a real close watch out here as he brings the ball up inside and then cuts it to the outside. Teagarden gets a block right there. And right here, I never did see him. He rolled over again. He did the same thing in the replay as he did in the regular play.
That's incredible. Todd Crump also making a nice block there early to spring Rogers for the run. 1st and 10 from the 15. 7.5 minutes to go in the 3rd. The pitch comes to Josh Sumner, who takes it inside the 15. Pickup of maybe 2 yards on the play before Ben Holmes brings him down. So it'll be 2nd and 8.
Okay, here comes in a fresh backfield.
Oh, good.
Okay. Now, Kurt, let's see how good your agility is of picking up who has the football.
Well, I was caught off guard when the quarter began. Let's try it again. Clint Stewart at quarterback still. Rogers and Teagarden in the backfield. 2nd and 8 from the 13. Handoff. Comes to Joby Teagarden. And Teagarden tripped up. Just couldn't get out of the grasp of Robert Champlain.
Pickup of very little. Give him 1. And that brings the Odessa Permian Panthers total offense up to 356 yards for the game.
Alan Wiles brings a fresh play in.
A fresh play in?
On a fresh night.
In a freshening breeze.
And a refreshing 49-0 lead. As the Panthers try to increase it, Clint Stewart to the air, completed to Alan Wiles, inside the 10 to the 7-yard line, put down on his head. He will not have a first down.
I'm not sure what you call that tackle, but it was effective. I'm not sure of the technique that you used there.
Brandon Mills on the stop. It'll be 4th and 1 for Permian.
4th and 1, and here come 2 more backs. 3 more backs. Teagarden coming back in. And that brings him up to 361 yards. Do you want me to do this every play?
No.
Oh, thank you.
Especially since there's 5.5 minutes going to the 3rd quarter.
Okay, we'll drop that idea.
4th and 1. Permian goes.
And Josh Sumner's got it. Or is that Rogers?
That was Brian Rogers.
Brian Rogers, okay. Whomever.
Yes. So it'll be 1st and goal for the Panthers. As Roger Soto makes the tackle. Get a good shot of it from our ground level camera right there. Line of scrimmage will be the 3. Permian started the drive from their own 37-yard line after stopping the Cougars on 4th down with 8 minutes and 12 seconds to go in the quarter. They've run yardage and they've run time. And they've run it into the end zone. That's a Mojo touchdown. Josh Sumner takes it in.
Oh me. And I don't know how far Coach Gaines is down on his, I don't know how his depth chart reads. Ooh, that was close, folks. Well, I guess he got on the white. It was close. He didn't finish up on the white.
He's pushed back, though, yeah.
Well, but it bounced. It's close. There was a little bow in the plane. That imaginary line.
I see.
5:04 left in the ball game. Extra point try up, and it is good.
Another extra point headed by Stefan Hansen, and with 5 minutes and 4 seconds left to go in the third quarter, Permian leads the Cooper Cougars 56-0. This is the Channel 7 Sports Production. Back at Ratliff Stadium, Kurt Kaiser along with Don Scott with 5 minutes and 4 seconds left in the third. The scoring drive for Permian, 7 plays, 77 yards, 3 minutes and 8 seconds. Josh Sumner takes it in for 6.
Or close.
Yeah.
In or close.
Malcolm Hamilton has the ball teed up at the 40-yard line. Panthers were a 33-point favorite in this game, according to the Harris Poll, and they have covered that.
More than covered that.
And a fumble on the play. Let's see who has it. Apparently the Cougars do. Johnny Seeley was down there once again for Permian. Johnny is there on every single kickoff, it seems, as he comes down there.
Johnny Seeley has done a good job tonight. He has played very, very well. Ooh,
yeah.
Boy, that ball was really loose.
Well, there was also Ben Arnold. No, Jamie Jarman, excuse me. Jamie Jarman was even closer than Johnny Seeley on that last one. Under the 5-minute mark. That's less than 5 minutes to go in the third.
We're seeing some fresh defensive faces out here now, too.
1st and 10 from the 23-yard line. Lanny Owens still at quarterback for the Cougar offense. Cooper came in with the third-ranked defense in the district. Brian Tucker on the stop that time. Third-ranked defense in 4-5A. And had given up 56 points.
Well, I'm not sure that those stats are really relevant because of the fact that Cooper has played neither Lee nor Permian before tonight. And those are the two powerhouse offensives in the district. So, you know, I'm not sure you can really rely on that stat.
Owens keeps the football.
And
He's
then loses
down.
it.
The football is down, but yes, the Panthers do have it. Permian is recovered. Getting up off the ground with the football, it is Brian Tucker.
Number 32, Brian Tucker. 1st and 10, Permian.
Brian Tucker doing a good job tonight.
The officials mark the ball at the...
I'm not sure who stripped it away from him. It's the one on the ground right there. 30-something.
That'd make a good
37,
show.
number 37.
Malcolm Hamilton.
Malcolm Hamilton stripped the ball away from him, and then Brian Tucker draped his body around it.
30-something, huh?
30-something.
Yeah, we'll see if we can get a series out of that.
Yeah, we can maybe show that.
1st and 10 from the 27-yard line. Stewart still at quarterback. Hands it off right up the middle to Malcolm Hamilton. Some tough yards as Malcolm takes it inside the 25.
Malcolm Hamilton, the ball carrier.
And you're down now to the situation where you're putting some substitutes in who want to show what they can do. Malcolm Hamilton, one of those, who is running hard. Mike Herron finally brings him down, along with John Lewis.
Permian has now used, I believe, 14 backs or 15 backs in the ballgame.
That's quite a few. 2nd and 6 from the 23. Stewart pitches it back. Devon Carroll, the ball carrier. Or Devoren.
Devoren Carroll is a young man that I've watched 2 or 3 times now this year, and he's large. He's big. I mean, we're not talking about small fellow. We're talking about big man. And he moves fairly well for a large fellow. 205 pounds, I believe, something like that.
Oh.
Junior, I believe.
205-pound junior. Very good. Very good.
Large fellow.
3rd and 5 from the 22-yard line, coming down on the 3-minute mark. Clint Stewart has 3 men in his backfield. One gets the football.
Devon Carroll again, I believe.
And takes it to the 20-yard line where it'll bring up a 4th down. Steve McKaylee on the stop.
The ball carrier stopped at the 20-yard line. That'll bring up...
I'm not sure who that was that carried the ball.
4th and 4, just shy of the 20. The Panthers will go for it. They need to get the ball down to the 17-yard line.
Well, Coach Gaines is just, he's trying not to run the score up.
Brandon Garlick in there at center. And the Panthers will be stopped short of a 1st down. Larry Serrano, the ball carrier. And the ball will go over on downs to Abilene Cooper.
1st and 10 for the Abilene Cooper Cougars.
So there's 2 minutes and 26 seconds to go in the third quarter. James Barker was the man that made the big play that time for the Cougars. First and 10 Cougs from the 20-yard line late in the third quarter.
Only in the third quarter.
My sentiments exactly. David Cedillo comes wide left. Lanny Owens in there with a wishbone behind him. They keep it on the ground. Hunter is hit hard.
Oh,
Brian Tucker made the big play that time.
Brian Tucker just absolutely creamed him. Of course, Brian Tucker was the starter as a sophomore when Greg
Kwiatkowski.
Well, whatever. When Ski couldn't go, Brian Tucker was the starter early in the year, and he learned an awful lot in those early ball games, and he is a hitter.
Second
He's
and 10.
going to be a good one.
No gain on the play. Under the 2-minute mark, Hunter again. This time he picks up 5 yards, taking it out to the 25-yard line. Ball loose, but the play had been whistled down. And Josh Sumner made the hit that time for Permian.
Josh Sumner, number 30. Third and 5.
It's the dominance by even the second team defense, third team, whatever's in there. I guess it's second team defense. It's not the starting defense.
Jared Jensen was also close to the ball carrier. 3rd and 5. 1:20 left in the third as Owens is brought down. No, he isn't. He's still on his feet, gets away, and the ball is almost intercepted. Oh! Defensive play that time by Jamie Jarman.
Jamie Jarman does what coaches teach you to do. He played all the way through the man and got to the football. Does a good job of it. I thought he had him down back there. Then someone else was after him. And then watch the ball as it comes down here. As it comes down here, right there. He whomps him, the ball, and everything all at once.
John Lewis back in punt formation. And we have Larry Serrano and Jamie Jarman back to receive. High kick by Lewis will bounce at the 45 and take a Permian bounce.
And then another Permian roll and go out of bounds right on the 50.
Even the ball's bouncing Mojo's way, and with 1:05 left in the third quarter, Permian will begin it 1st and 10 from the 50. With the stands at Ratliff Stadium rapidly emptying out, and the traffic jam has already begun, and we haven't finished the third quarter.
Well, 56 to zips, and it's not very pleasant out here tonight. It's a little on the nippy side.
You noticed that?
And Kurt Kaiser is going to be leaving next. He wishes.
I had a shivering spasm, which Ronnie enjoyed just a moment ago. That was fun, wasn't it? 1st and 10 at the 50. Now in there at quarterback, it is Shane Young, who hands the ball off. Shane hands it off to Malcolm Hamilton.
Richard Arias, number 24. And number 42,
2nd and 5. Richard Irion along with Jody Perry on the stop that time. Make it 2nd and 5 at the 45. Well, let's say the 46-yard line. It would be 2nd and 6. We must be precise.
Precise here?
Precise.
Well, everybody in the world has got yardage tonight, and we have backs that have got yardage that we don't even have room for on the stat sheet.
That's Shane Young. Shane looking for running room outside. Can't find it. He'll be brought down behind the line of scrimmage.
That's the fourth quarterback?
Fourth quarterback. Robert Champlain bringing him down.
And at least 16 other backs, like 20 backs or so, have now displayed some talent on the field. Everybody's getting play tonight.
It'll be a 5-yard loss on the play, make it 3rd and 11.
Permian up to about 370-something yards total offense. They average, 437?
And time has expired in the third quarter.
Just before Kurt Kaiser expired.
Still 12 minutes of football to enjoy. And after 3 complete, the Permian Panthers lead it 56-0 over Abilene Cooper. This is the channel. As we begin the fourth quarter, the Panthers have the ball at the 49-yard line, their own 49, faced with a 3rd and 11. Ready for the final 12-minute stanza. There is Stoney Case on the sideline, so you haven't seen him in the ball game for a while. He's been enjoying the action there. Todd Allen is alongside.
And most of the line is standing up on the edge of the track here so they can have a little better view.
Well, that's where Brad got that shot of Stoney Case. 3rd and 11. Shane Young at quarterback. Fumble on the snap. Panthers fall on it. Now let's see who does fall on it.
I think the Panthers got it. I don't know. I can't tell. Yes, the Panthers got it.
Permian will keep it, but they will be forced to punt it away right now.
Our statistician, Mike Sneed, working very hard and diligently over here tonight, and he is having a real blast since we have all these backs in here, and he's going crazy trying to figure out who's what numbers to put into the computer. 372 yards total offense for the Permian Panthers right now.
And back in single coverage, it will be Brandon Mills. There's a kick by Steve Womack. High kick. Mills will let it bounce, and now he picks it up, and he is going to be brought down immediately. Brought down by, that was Brandon Mills who got the football. Let's see who he was brought down by. Brought down by Mike Faulkner.
Gutsy play.
Almost said Darren McDaniels. That was 81 instead of 80. Don't want to make that mistake. Yeah.
Cougar 18.
Saw Darren's dad before the game and
Abilene
promised
Cooper.
I'd get it in there.
Abilene Cooper is all the way up to 80 yards total offense in the game. 80 yards.
80 yards. And they're 82 yards away from the end zone right now.
Does not bode very well for them.
And now they're trying to pass. That it won't work. That was Raymond Hunter, who got the pitch from Lanny Owens. Looked to throw it, but didn't have any time at all because Matt Pomeroy was right there to pounce on him.
And
watch the Pomeroy pounce.
The Pomeroy pounce right.
First of all, and the pressure by Brian Tucker.
Brian Tucker pressure and Pomeroy pounce, and their coverage downfield was
capital.
Tighter than glue.
5-yard loss makes it 2nd and 15. Ball back to the 13.
Defensive back was covering that guy like a tick on a hound dog.
Owens hands it off.
Number 27.
The Panther defense looking for their 4th shutout in a row.
And Malcolm Hamilton. They'll bring up a 3rd down.
In fact, the only district points the Panthers have given up were the 27 against Odessa High. Since that time, they've had shutouts against Midland, against Abilene, against Dallas Jesuit last week, and now tonight, Goose Egg so far. Let's see how many cliches we come up. We got 10 minutes. See how many cliches we can come up with for no points.
Okay.
Goose egg has been used. A fumble on the play. The Panthers recover it. They cannot advance the fumble, but they'll have the ball inside the 10-yard line.
Let me tell you what, the defense for the Permian Panthers tonight is stickier than a 2-year-old's bib.
Oh, that's good. Jared Jensen fell on the football. Mike Faulkner causing the fumble. So good teamwork there by two Panthers. Giving the ball back to Permian. 1st and goal at the 7. 9:52.
I tell you what, if I was Coach Larry Peels, I'd be circling the wagons about now.
Panthers up to the line of scrimmage.
It's going to be long night here.
Tommy Thompson is in there at center right now. Shane Young gets the football from him. Out of the backfield, it was Manuel Carrasco, 147-pound junior tailback.
Number 26.
I tell you what, I have now lost count. I don't know how many backs have carried the ball. I not only been in the ball game, but carried the football. Permian has used people. I don't know. If they'd been on a road trip, a lot of these people wouldn't have been with them.
That'll be 2nd and goal from the 7. 9:20 and counting. Shane Young, fumble. Young falls on it. Permian keeps it, but they lose a couple of yards back to the 9.
The ball carrier. Stop for a loss at the 9-yard line.
Don't forget, after the game, we'll be naming our Texas Institute of Sports Medicine offensive and defensive players of the night. And we'll be headed down to the sidelines to talk with those two young men from the winning Permian Panthers.
Are you sure they're going to win?
Yeah, I'm going out on a limb there, but I think they'll control it. Shane Young gets the ball, gives it to Carrasco, who is down at about the 8-yard line. Pick up of 1 will make it 4th and goal.
Well, this is a... No, it's great that these young kids are getting to play and getting to play a lot in district action. And it means that Permian is going to escape with none of their starters with any serious injuries in the ball game. Kurt Kaiser may die of the chills and the shivers up here before we're through. Not sure about the boy.
4th and goal from the 9. Shane Young pitches the ball back. And the Panthers are going to take it in. No, he slips as he tries to make his cut upfield. That was Derek Hickey. Derek Hickey had end zone in front, but the wet turf brought him down. Now, I'm not going to credit Roger Soto. It was the turf that brought him down.
That was a turf tackle. One large turf tackle. Watch it here. Clancy's foot in the turf grabbed him. And he was unhappy. He had 6. He had his first varsity touchdown. It was going in. He had it all the way.
Exactly 8 minutes left to go in the ball game. And the Cougar offense is back out. 1st and 10. At their own 6. Owens hands it off to C.J. Wilson. Wilson out to the 11-yard line.
Number 27, the ball carrier.
Wilson came in the leading back for the Cougars. But he has had a very, very quiet night, as has the entire offensive unit. Wilson was number 4 in the district, 97 carries, 610 yards. But he's had very, very little to work with tonight. Brian Tucker on the stop once again for Permian. 2nd down and 4 yards to go out of the 6-yard pickup. 7.5 minutes left. Lanny Owens, the wishbone behind him, keeps it on the ground to Hunter. Hunter spins ahead to the 15-yard line. He'll be just a little short of a first down. Needed the 16. It is Jeff Kendrick making the stop.
Jeff Kendrick.
Well, it's
number 62.
7 minutes and the 10 seconds before the final merciful gun will descend upon the Cooper Cougars.
Under the 7-minute mark. It's one play every 30 seconds, so we have 14 plays to go. The clock continues to move.
Except that the officials stop the clock again.
I hate it when they do that.
They do that many more times, and I'm going to use that gun to mercifully end their lives.
Ben Arnold on the stop. I did a game one time in East Texas for the Quitman Bulldogs, who were ahead by about this margin in the second half. And the coaches got together before the second half began and said, let's just let the clock keep running.
Right.
And
that is an NCAA rule, by the way. A lot of people do not realize that you can even do that in a college ball game, and what should have been done in the SMU Houston game, but was not. But both coaches have to agree to it. You don't stop the clock for anything.
Owens back to throw, and it is tipped and almost intercepted. Nice defensive play made by Jamie Jarman. Jamie was close to another one earlier on, so he's done a good job back there in the Panthers secondary.
Really has. I tell you what, a lot of these young defensive players for Permian are playing extremely well. Big number 70 for Permian, who is Anthony Jimenez, a 222-pound senior tackle. Got some beef pushing back on that line that time. He matches up rather well with the middle of that huge Abilene line.
6:29 left. Clock will stop with the incompletion. Owens on the draw, and the Panther defense is right there to bring the Cougar ball carrier down, who was C.J. Wilson. Tommy Thompson making the stop.
Tackled by number 54, Tommy Thompson, and number 32, Ryan Tucker. No gain on.
It'll be 3rd down, 3rd and 9 for the Cougars. Line of scrimmage to 17. Anthony Jimenez also in there for Permian.
I'll tell you what, that Cooper line is still huge. I don't care what the score is. Those boys are big. Large folk.
Lanny Owens has been the quarterback the entire way for the Cougars. They still have their first team offense in there. Lewis is in motion. He's looking for Lewis. Can't get it to him. Now he'll run with the football. Lanny Owens will be stopped short of a first down. Jared Jensen brought him down at the 25-yard line and needed the 27. Well, really the 26.5 is where he had to get to, but he didn't make it. They'll spot it at the 26, so it'll be just a little bit shy.
They might as well go for it here. I mean, you know, you got 5:23 left. You're down 56 to Zippos. The other coach is not trying to score on you anymore, so you might as well go for it. What's the dick? What's the half? Never mind.
Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever. That's all, folks.
Oh, good. We're going to measure now, so the clock will stop at 5:33 to go. And they will be short.
By
about a
6
little,
inches.
Yeah, a little under the length of a football.
Yes, I believe a football is a little over 6 inches.
A little over, yeah.
However, we could go get one and measure it.
No.
If you would like.
Not if it takes some time.
Well, I wasn't thinking about using the one they were playing with.
Oh, that's a good idea.
They might object.
4th and a smidgen, and they pick it up. Lanny Owens keeps the football and takes it over the left side for the first down.
Owens, the ball carrier for the first down.
And you know what they did?
There's 5:23 to go. We'll take a quick timeout now with Permian leading at 56-0 over the Cooper Cougars. Back with more action in just a moment. And we're back at Ratliff Stadium. Kirk Kaiser and Don Scott for the final 5 minutes of this one as the ball is handed off. And the Cougars keeping the ball on the ground.
You know what the most misleading stat in this entire ball game is going to be? Is when you look at the yardage stat. Cooper is now up to 105 or 6 yards in the ball game, and Odessa Permian well below their 437 normal average, but the score says 56 to Goose Eggs.
Yeah. Fumble on the play. Permian has it.
Permian has it.
The Panthers have recovered. Coming up with the football, it was Monty Masters.
Monty Masters mastered that one. Kurt, I have a suggestion for you that might make you stay a little warmer.
Yes, sir.
Why don't you run in place?
Okay, I think I'll try that.
Or run out of the place, either one.
Well, I'll be running down to the field soon for the post-game interviews with our Texas Institute of Sports Medicine offensive and defensive players of the night. It's 1st and 10 Permian as the football is at the Cougar 34-yard line. The Panthers keeping it on the ground. Devorin Carroll was the ball carrier that time.
Big boy. Biggin.
He's a biggin.
Biggin Carroll.
Glenn Webb on the stop for the Cougars.
He's big enough, he makes the pile move when he hits it.
Make it Kenneth Lacey on the stop. Up over center, Brandon Garlick.
That brings Permian back up to 377 yards.
Shane Young remaining a quarterback. Shane handing the ball off. As the Panthers try the left side, and a flag will fly that time.
2 of them.
As it was Brandon Rice that was out there.
Number 29, the ball carrier.
A spearing call.
Mark Blake was the ball carrier for Permian.
Spearing call. 2 officials saw it. Let's watch out here as you come out this way. And spearing is when you strike a player in the back. Ooh, yes, he did dive in there with his helmet. That is, when you dive in helmet first, friend, you're going to get the flag.
So the penalty will move the ball to just inside the 15-yard line, where the Panthers will have it 1st and 10.
Okay.
3 minutes and 55 seconds left as Permian leads 56-0. They have not scored in the 4th quarter yet.
And could be 112 if they wanted it to be.
Could be very easily.
The entire first unit backfield retired at halftime. The second team backfield retired after 1 series of the 3rd quarter. The third team backfield retired after the 2nd series of the 3rd quarter.
Shane Young handing it off to Malcolm Hamilton, who spins away, but is still brought down. Malcolm getting out of the grasp of Brian Roper for just a moment, but Roper then.
Now, I'm going to tell you the height of ridiculousness. If Cooper starts calling timeouts to conserve the clock here, I give up.
No. Don't even mention it. Don't be ridiculous, Don.
That would be. No, they wouldn't do that.
2nd and 10.
I've seen them do that.
But not tonight. Carroll picks up 5 down to the 10-yard line. Brian Roper drags them down again. It'll be 3rd and 5.
He only picked. Well, I guess they lost a little bit on the one before, maybe, huh? Whatever.
3rd and 6. Okay.
3rd and 6.
3rd and 6.
Solid 6.
Under the 3-minute mark.
383 yards for Permian.
Ooh.
Still well below their 437.
Shane Young hands the ball off to Carrasco. Carrasco struggling ahead.
Picks up about 2.
Kenneth Lacey brings him down. It'll be 4th down for Permian. 4th and about 5. 2:23 and counting down.
Here come backs back and backs
Carroll,
in and backs out. And
Carroll comes in and Blake comes in.
And Carroll comes in. And Blake goes out. And Smith comes in. And Jones goes out. And who's on first? And what's on second? And whatever.
Shane Young pitches the ball back. And the Panthers will be stopped short of a 1st down. That was Mark Blake. As the Cougar defense holds Richard Irian on the stop.
Irian, whomever.
You say tomato, I say tomato. Oh, we trust Ronnie. Ronnie knows, right?
You say potato, I say potato. No, I don't say potato. I say taters.
Now, as you're enjoying this game tonight, Don, one thing we'd like to remind the folks is that this is the night they turn their clocks back.
Yes.
As you're watching the replay.
Right. Don't forget, before you go to bed tonight, to turn your clocks back. You know, it's spring forward, fall back, all that jazz. Well, this is fall, and you turn the clock back 1 hour. You get an extra hour sleep in the morning.
If you don't, you'll be early for church.
Very early.
Which for some will be the first time ever. Flag will fly.
Lots of flags.
John Lambert there for Permian.
And I'm not sure whom. The official is bending over like he's hurting. He's tired too. Personal dead ball. We have a dead ball. We have a personal foul against Cooper. And we're going to march it back all the way back halfway to the end zone. And I believe that was what you call not a physical foul, but a verbal what?
A verbal foul, I see.
Verbal foul.
Your mother wears army boots or something like that, is what you're saying.
Similar.
Very similar. With Halloween approaching, Jason is back. That's right. Just when you thought the world was safe from sequels, it's Friday the 13th, Part 4, the final chapter, coming up tomorrow night at 11:05. And a happy Halloween from Channel 7.
Thank you, Dracula.
1:40 left in the game. 2nd and 12 for Cooper.
And, he got hit hard.
The Panthers swarming. Blake Tucker, Ben Arnold, both there for Permian.
126 and moving.
Oh, and you know what I get to do in 126? I get to run downstairs, and that'll get me warm. I will run down all those stands. And
all I can say is anyone who has lived in West Texas as long as you do, and comes up to a ball game this time of year wearing a very light jacket and a very light shirt, is not in possession of much mental facilities.
Say what you think.
I did want to fumble around with words.
Number 20, ball carrier.
Under 1 minute left as the Cougars keep it on the ground.
Here we go. Got to watch a replay. Tremendous play here. We got to watch a replay. He runs up, falls down, people fall on top of him, and that's the end of that play. 40 seconds, 39, 38, 37. Oh, move the clock, please.
Jeff Hamilton on the stop for the Panthers.
They're letting the clock move. Thank goodness for that.
Will be Jamie Jarman, number 13.
Jamie Jarman will drop back to receive.
And they take the snap, and he kicks the football, and it goes up in the air, and it comes down. And Permian didn't even put anybody back to field it. They just let it bounce around, roll around, hoping the clock will continue to run. It's down to 11, 10 seconds. They stopped the clock with 10 seconds.
One snap left in this football game.
Thank goodness.
And there are still some fans here. Pretty good crowd, really. It's hung around. And they're applauding.
Well, at least all of the parents are here.
Right.
Then all of them got to watch their sons play tonight.
That's right. Everybody goes home happy on that regard.
And I'm not sure, but what some daughters didn't play also for Permian.
One more snap left. As Permian has dominated is really too easy a word, but it's the best that comes to mind quickly.
Destroyed, I think, is more accurate.
Destroyed is better. Shane Young kneels, and that'll be the last play of the ball game. The final seconds tick off the clock, and the Panthers are 8-0 and looking ahead to Midland Lee.
And that big ball game next week, by the way, is going to be a 7 o'clock kickoff over in Midland. We might remind people of that. Instead of being the normal 8 o'clock, it will be a 7 o'clock kickoff over in Midland for the very fortunate few who managed to get a ticket to get into Midland Memorial Stadium.
Our final score tonight has Permian winning it 56-0 over Abilene Cooper. Our post-game report in a moment. This is the Channel 7 Sports Production.
With the final score, Odessa Permian 56 and Abilene Cooper naught, it's time for Kurt Kaiser down on the field to name our Texas Institute of Sports Medicine offensive and defensive players of the game. Kurt?
All right, Don, the two Permian players we've selected tonight could have been picked any game all year long, as they've been steady performers all season long. Steve Womack on defense, Todd Allen on offense, and as I said, they both had great seasons, great games once again tonight. Let's talk with Steve first of all, our Texas Institute of Sports Medicine defensive player of the night. And Steve, we start off with a big fumble recovery for you in that first quarter. Tell me about that.
Yes, sir. I kind of lost containment on that quarterback. Well, I wasn't used to the tight end going in so quick, and I lost containment. I ran out. I ran as hard as I could, and I saw the ball fall out. I just had to get it. And I knew I could make up for that, losing containment. So.
Now, anytime you guys get a chance to get your hand on a football, you like it on defense, don't you?
Yes, sir. I was wanting to run it, but I was too excited. I couldn't even do nothing, just lay there.
Now, Steve, as I told you right before we went on the air, you could have been picked any game this year. You've had a very steady year, and it's been a good year for you defensively, hasn't it?
Yes, sir. I just, everybody plays good on D. It's good for everybody to get it, So everybody get it once or twice or whatever.
Now, this game tonight, though, you came out, and I don't know if you're extra fired up or not, but it looked like you were. It looked like you really put a little extra into it tonight. Did you feel that way? You had a little more to prove tonight?
Yes, sir. They're a big line. We haven't been up against a line like that, and we're looking towards Lee now. Everybody was saying Lee weak, but we had to take Cooper on first, and they're a good line. They have a good quarterback. We just contained it, and we shut them down.
Yeah, everybody was pushing Lee even before you played Cooper. Did you want to prove that you did want to take care of Cooper first, and did that kind of give you a little bit more pressure going in?
Yes, sir, because it was just the intensity of just hearing Lee, We want them bad, and they want us bad, so we're just going to take it head on.
So you're ready for that one now. Now you don't have to worry about anybody else. You can worry about Lee, right?
Yes, sir, a full week of practice of it. They've got 2 weeks on us, but we're going to practice hard.
Okay. Steve, great game tonight. Congratulations, and good luck next week.
Thanks, sir.
All right. Steve Womack, our defensive player of the night. Offensively, Todd Allen. Todd's also out there on defense. He could be on either side of the football. Todd, steady game for you, and the offensive line doesn't always get a lot of credit. You're going up against some big horses tonight. Tell me about that.
Oh, they were real big. I don't know, about 245, 215, some of them. They were hard to block, real strong up body. We couldn't chop them very much, so we had to block them high most of the time, and just corrections as we went along in the game. Did a pretty good job, though.
Now, it seems like we're talking about Permian being undermanned a lot. Every year after year you are, but you always get the job done. Coaches must help you a lot with that.
Oh, yeah, they do. They teach us good technique, teach us, off-season we go a lot of strength, a lot of on the fours, just crawling around on the ground and block them that way. And they help us a lot in offense.
Now, 28 points for the offense in the first quarter. You can't do much better than that. Things were really clicking for you in that first quarter, weren't they?
Oh, yeah, they were. We knew. They had a defensive scheme. We knew it, and they came out and played it exactly how we practiced all week, and we got it all down, just ran right up through them. It's easy.
Now, let's talk about Lee. Everybody's been thinking about it for a few weeks now. Are you ready for this ball game?
Oh, yeah, I'm ready. Lee's always an important game because, it's rivalry. They beat us the last couple of years, and we're ready for them, I think. We're going to practice hard this week.
Okay, Todd, congratulations on a great game.
All right, thanks.
All right. Todd Allen, our offensive player of the night from Texas Institute of Sports Medicine. That'll wrap us up from down here on the field. Let's send it back upstairs. Some final comments now from Don Scott.
All right, Kurt, thank you very much, and we'll give you a very, very quick wrap on the stats here tonight. No sense in going through all of it. The total yardage, 383 yards for Odessa Permian, 115 yards for Abilene Cooper, and much of that 115 yards for Cooper was made against the second and third team defensive unit of Permian. Final score 56-0, a complete and total domination by the Odessa Permian Panthers tonight. You heard the players talking about it. It's the same thing we said earlier in the game. They have been pointing ahead now for 2 or 3 weeks looking for the Midland Lee ball game. They've lost to Midland Lee for about 3 years in a row. Midland Lee is a powerhouse of a football team. These two powerhouse football teams will clash next week over in Midland in a showdown for a district championship. And the final score, once again, was Odessa Permian 56 and the Abilene Cooper Cougars were nothing tonight. And that's about the way it wraps up for Texas Institute of Sports Medicine. We wish you a very pleasant good evening, and don't forget, turn your clocks back 1 hour. Good night.